Okay, let's stand in the middle of the mat, feet hip width apart, just softening the knees slightly, tuck the pelvis under. Think about going tall through the spine, crown ahead, shining towards the ceiling. Find pelvic floor and pull in. Take 100%, but try not to hold the breath. Then think about TVA. We tend to hollow that one down towards the hips, but also it's this idea of drawing in your stomach muscles like you were putting on some tight trousers. So pulling in, we're going to hold for 5 seconds and we're going to do it 3 times. So pelvic floor and TVA. Pulling in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and your slow release. Now just noticing if you were holding the breath, so let's try it again. So pulling in, breathe, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slow release. And we're going to do one more time. Pulling in and breathe. Shoulders relaxed, muscles in the face relaxed. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slow release. Take 50% now, so it's not taking all of your concentration and it's not affecting your breath pattern. Shoulder circles, so lift your shoulders up to your ears, circle them backwards, give it a little bit of a squeeze. Just checking in with the day, thinking perhaps a little bit of your intention to your Pilates practice. Where are the tight bits? What are the bits you want to strengthen? What are the weaknesses? So just checking in with that intention. Going to just bring some exercises and tie them to the breath, and then a little bit of a focus on this exercise is thinking about opportunities, and our opportunities everywhere in our lives. So the first exercise, we're going to use this mudra in a minute. So this mudra is index fingers and big fingers together. Okay. So float the arms up, level with the shoulders, and then find that mudra that I've just shown you, the 2 fingers together, and then sweeping, coming in. This is what we call balancing the chi, and then reset. Lifting up, finding that mudra, and then bringing and drawing that into the body and release. 3 more, lift, and this is this idea of gathering opportunities and bringing them into our presence, into our auras. Sweeping them, bringing them in. Breathing in as you lift, breathing out as you draw in. Last one. And release. Then just an easy twist, allowing the arms just to float around the body, soften through the knees. And you can think about perhaps opening the heart center here, because you need to be open if you're going to take opportunities. Sometimes the opportunities can change things. So just opening that heart area, the heart center, being open, being free. Long exhales. Just a couple more. And then coming to center, just to show you sideways on for this next one. You're going to come like a squat, so take your hips back and then float your arms back, almost like your ski jumping position. So you're getting this lovely stretch in the lower back. And then from there, you just lift yourself up and sweep the arms around, almost like you're going to give yourself a hug and draw things in. So this idea again is bowing down. Keep the crown head in line with the spine, and then again drawing in those opportunities and that openness. Reach the fingertips back as you go into your cake position and drawing everything in. 3 more into your cake position, bowing down and then drawing things in. And perhaps at this moment you can think about what kinds of things do you want to start gathering. Perhaps even just harnessing if you're thinking about holding on to some things that are important in your life. Or perhaps you're seeking for new opportunities. So just 1 more. Sweeping that around and drawing in. Okay, T-shape with one arm, so arm up level with the shoulder, and just see if you can circle. Those are my 3 exercises, by the way, just tying the breath in with a little bit of thinking, intention thinking. Circle the other way around. Try and keep your shoulders down away from your ears. Thinking about the core, pulling in. Then other side, again, just little circles. Notice if one side feels different to the other. If you've got any shoulder niggles or injuries, maybe it feels more tricky on one side. Then together, circle. Other way around. Then can you do one going one way and one going the other? And that's actually quite hard. It's hard because you're just doing little mini circles as well. Then stop and then see if you can take that the other way around. That's quite tricky too. Don't worry if it's just blowing your brain. Just a little bit of a shake out on the arms. One hand over, holding on to the ear. This is the neck stretch. And then you're going to allow your other ear to come down towards your shoulder. And just again, still engaging with the core, tuck pelvis under. And take your eye gaze up to the far corner. Just count to 10. And then slowly release, and then go to the other side. This is neck release. It's also working with somatic kind of tension release, so that's the eye gaze thing. So release this shoulder, one hand on the shoulder, and then see if you can edge that ear down, then take the eye gaze to the far corner. It's like almost a conscious attention you're doing with the eyes here. Count to 10. We hold a lot of tension there in the necks. Okay, and slowly release. Gonna go to side bend, so reach down towards the side of the knee and then over to the other side. Relax the shoulders. Engage the core, try and keep the hips central. Press down into the mat with the feet parallel, facing forwards. Working in a little bit more, arm over the top into that stretch. Your pace, I'm going quite quickly, so if you want you can always slow this down. Bending in the elbow, work into that full stretch. Eye gaze forwards, you might find that you're looking down if you're looking at the screen, but see if you can start lifting that looking forwards. Breathing out into that extension. Press down with the feet. Little add in here, then reaching and then just stir, just spiral with the opposite, the spare hand. And then the other way around. Hold into that side bend. And then release. We'll go to the other side. And reach. And spiral. And breathe. And other way around. And release. Going back to the other side, then soften through the knees slightly here. And then take a hip circle in the side bend. So feel free to really bend in the knees with this. And just explore tightness there, sitting in the hips. So you can support yourself with the hand there, resting on your leg. Other way around. It's quite intense, so you can take it on whichever, kind of take it with your kind of own ability. You might not want to be on full extension, you might want to be halfway there. Other side. Again, you can soften through the knees here, explore any tight spots in the outside of that hip. Other way around. They're quite small circles, quite small movement. And release. Okay, into our squats, hips back into space. Breathing in as you lift, breathing out as you come down. Keep an eye on the feet, the knees. Let's check they're facing forwards, they're not pronating in. We're getting that nice length there on the lower back. That spine can stay nice and long. So you reach the hands forwards. Maybe the arms go up to the ears. That can be quite tricky if you are tight there in the Achilles or particularly tight there in the back. But you can edge arms up as much as you can. Adding in then, so we're going to go up with the arms, circle around onto the toes. Coming down into the squat. Breathing in left and breathing out lower. If you like to put in your weights at this point, grab your free weights. And again, you can put in your circling round, engage the core. And then like we did last week, you could go one arm forwards, one arm back. You could just front raise. I'm just going to give you some options here. If you prefer, you've got lateral raise. So there's a few different options in there. Circle the arms. Now just be aware, when you circle the arms around, you're not edging the head forwards. So just think about the length of the back of the neck. Eye gaze forwards, attempting again to look down, especially if you've got the screen. So get the move, then look forwards. Think about sending the hips back into space. I'm just watching the screens a little bit on these squats. So thinking, as you go down, you've got your shoulders, your knees, and your feet all going to be in a line. That sometimes helps to get the squat right. You're not just sitting back with your bum. 3 more. Putting together your arm version. Okay, wide squats in, the sumo squat. Bending in the knees. Take the weights to the center, drawing the big circles. Keep the head still, keep the core nice and still. Big circles with the arms. Try and stay still in the center. This is the back foot. Move for the shoulders, the top of the back. If you start moving everything around, it really changes this move. So keep the head still. Take a check-in with the core. Still pulling in pelvic floor, TVA. Take a check-in with the breath there as well. We're not holding the breath. Breathing in left, breathing out as you lower it down. Notice if one side feels different to the other. If you've got any imbalances there in the shoulders, just noticing them. If you haven't done, I've been doing 2 one way to the other. I don't know if anyone else has been copying me, but if you haven't, go the other way. Last one. Okay, let's put the weights just to one side then. You need a bit of wall for this next section. There's only 2 moves. I'm going to use the bit by the cupboard. Can you see okay? Just so you can see what I'm doing, I think, from there, yeah. So you're going to, oh, there's a cobweb. You're going to put your back against the wall, but your feet about 1/2 meter away from the wall. So you're kind of leaning, and then you're going to lift your toes up, and then you're going to go down 1, and then 2. Flex. So this is going to really engage glutes down to your feet, and then down 1, and then 2. So down with control. Flex. It's also a little bit of a hamstring engagement. You can do it against the door as well. 10 of these. Flex the feet. So this is going to engage kind of the muscles around the shins as well. So it's a good running one. Squeeze the glutes as you flex up the feet. You're lifting. Lower 1 and then 2. Don't fully lower straight away. Don't flop it down. So you've got to keep that control. 1, 2, and left. 1 and 2 and left. It's quite a good knee exercise as well if anyone's on a knee rehab. Kind of getting the muscles around the knee to get engagement. Okay, once you've done your 10, turn around facing the wall. Place your elbows onto the wall, almost like you would be doing a plank here in this position. But we're not, we're going to do a calf stretch, so just one foot in front of the other. Pushing down through the back heel. Just try, if you can, keep the feet facing towards the wall. And try and stay long in the spine. So think about the whole body position here. We're not kind of just going legs and then the upper body is crumbling. So almost think about the planking position that we do when we're on the floor. So keeping nice and long in the spine, the shoulders away from ears, the crown of head in line with spine. And just really enjoy this stretch, pushing the heel down. We're going for about 30 seconds. I know I'm talking for quite a lot of this, but it's about 30 seconds on a stretch. And this is something you might do after a run. Just taking time to stretch out the calf muscles. And then we can just swap legs with that. Again, feet facing forwards. Take a nice stride. Push down through the back heel. Just be aware of the hips as well in this, where hips aren't tilting. So the hip bones are level. And just relax into that calf stretch. Again, try and stay nice and long through the spine. Maybe you're feeling the weight going through the elbows. It's still working the muscles in the back and the shoulders in this position with your elbows on the wall. Try not to look down at the feet. It's tempting, I know. Looking forwards. A couple of deep breaths. Gently peel out of that stretch and then do one more set of the lifting up the toes, so 10 of these. So again, find your position. Now if you want more of a challenge, lift your hips and your bum off the wall. So your whole body is in like a straight plank position. Then you can do your lift, lower down for 2. Lift, flex the feet, down for 2. So this is your other option. And on that you really feel you have to engage your core and you have to squeeze in your glutes. So you might notice that a little bit more. Lift, down for 2. Try not to look down at the feet if you can, looking forwards. Should feel like the muscles in the feet, the strengthening. We did a lot of footwork last week with the calf circuit, so this kind of just follows on really from that, keeping the feet nice and flexible and working at their strength. And also shins, we did a lot of like flex and point in the hamstring stretching and stuff, so we're just kind of maintaining some of that work we've done. Try and keep the control, particularly on the last bit. The halfway is quite easy, but it's the last bit down wants to often flop. Flap or flop, do you reckon? Let's go one more. Coming back onto the mat then. Balancing on one foot. Hands wherever you feel suitable. If you like hands together, that's fine, or you want to release. Or you like a tree. We're just going to close our eyes. See if you can count to 5. So you've just strengthened through the feet, you've woken all those muscles up. Perhaps anchor through the big toe, the pelvic floor, the glute. Then release. 5 heel lifts this time. So you're lifting up the heel, rolling through the foot. Trying to engage with all the toes, particularly big toe and this one. Working again with balance. Again, nice new rehab work. Okay, other side, again. Same, 5 seconds. See if you can close your eyes. Then you've got your 5 heel lifts. Roll through the foot. Squeeze in the glutes. Think about pressing the foot into the mat, squeezing the glutes same time. Okay, nice. Perhaps a little bit of a shake on the legs. Single leg exercise now. So your choice. You've got your lunges. You've got your single leg dips on the step. You've got deadlifts, or you've got chair squats. 10 on each leg. If you've got time, you might do 2 sets. So perhaps on your dips or lunges, you might have time for 2 sets. 2 sets of 10. Your choice of which exercise you're going to do. I'm going to do deadlifts today. And I'm going to put my weights into that. So that's my choice. And I'm going to put a shoulder press in there as well. You can put weights into the lunges quite easily as well if anyone wants to lunge and weights. I've never done weights with dips. I don't know if I really recommend it. I have tried it, but it didn't seem like it really did anything for me, that one. And I feel like if you put weights into the chair exercise, the weights would then help the balance and maybe not be so useful with that exercise as well. So think about the feet, check the feet are facing forwards. Think about the arches underneath the feet as well, check the arch isn't dropping inwards and letting the knee pronate in. Squeezing the glutes as you lift out of these moves, send the hips forwards and up. If you're struggling too much on balance, you could always hold on to something, there's no shame in that. Check in with the breath. Once you've done your 2 sets on this one, we are going to go to downward dog. So that's the back to the resuming normal programs. So find your downward dog, jazz walk. Stretch out the backs of the legs when you're ready. And I will meet you there. How are we doing on time? Let's take it down. Send the hips up towards the ceiling. Feet hip width apart. If you're particularly tight, you could play with going a little bit wider. Going as wide as the mat and then taking the jazz walk. If you're feeling like you're stiff there in the spine and the top of the back, perhaps find plank. Then send the hips up. Couple of deep breaths. Spread the fingers, spiral biceps towards each other. Gonna have just a moment in dolphin, so just coming down onto the elbows and then coming a bit more still. We won't be jazz walking in dolphin. Send the hips up, just take 2 really deep breaths here. Quite invigorating. All the blood is going to rush to your brain. Then bending the knees, come onto all fours. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Take a moment to find neutral spine. So if that means a pelvic tilt or a gentle cat to cow, kind of work through, find that central position and then engage the core. So really find pelvic floor, find TVA. We're going to do a really nice simple one today. We're going to go opposite arm, opposite leg extend. Sliding out, squeezing in the glute, low handshake. And then the challenges that I'm going to put in are just going to be neck work. So looking to the side and then looking to the other side and then release that down. So again, into the lift. Stay in that neutral position with the spine. And then just see if you can turn, look side to side. Work into the neck. Your pace, you might be going slower than me with this one. You can really take your time though. Work into the glute squeeze. Maybe point toes in here as well. Nice lower back strengthener, glute activator. Think about the arm being up level with the shoulder, so you're really reaching those fingertips forwards. Challenge if you want it, lift at the back foot. It's quite challenging that. Try it if you fancy a little bit of work with balance. So you're just on your knee in your hands. Three more. Looking just to the front of the mat here as well, so you're not looking down too much towards the knees and the feet. Okay, just extend. Let's go Yeah, let's go with the left leg first. This is release and stretching. Extend through the left leg, push back through. So you've got your toes on the mat, push back through the heel. So just think about a really nice long leg. Then you're going to pivot round. So you're going to face the side or pivot round with the right knee and then just open out, chest stretch. And you can either look up or look forwards. Really think about the stretch here. Across the chest, so one arm's going up so you can get a nice straight line. One arm going up through to the other arm. Then twist that all back round, pivot it back round. Step forwards with the left leg, low lunge. Thinking a little bit earlier about the opportunity, and we bowed forwards and we lifted the arms up. Take that with the low lunge. Sweep round, gathering in. And again, bowing down with your low lunge. Open the arms, open the chest, sweeping in one more. Bow down. Sweep and gather in. Straightening that left leg now, hamstring stretch. Your choice here, you can take hands down to the floor, but think about the spine. So we're not kind of just crumbling with the spine. So think about the chest coming forwards. So that often means that I can't touch the floor if I'm trying to think about the spine. So maybe hands on leg, or you could hold furniture. Flexing this foot or circling is quite nice as well. So again, just thinking about the feet, the ankles, take a bit of a circle, other way around. If you struggle to go on your knee in this exercise, I should have said this, you could high lunge and then take this in standing. So you can do the same hamstring stretch in standing. Okay, then we're going to go to the other side. So that's your option if you can't go on your knee. So we start in all fours, we extend the leg, we find that length through that leg, push back through that heel, feet on the toes on the mat. Then you do your pivot round, your chest stretch, opening out, nice hip stretch in there, just looking forwards. Again, that idea of opening the heart to opportunities that are all around us. Spin and pivot that forwards, low lunge. Keeping those hips nice and square. Sweep the hands back and then, I've got the wall in the way. Gathering in 3 times. Reach those fingertips back, shoulders down away from ears. Gathering in. Last one. Hamstring stretch. Again, find the sweet spot on this, because you don't want to be crumbling in the hips. So sometimes it means putting some length in. And anyone aspiring to do the splits, do this every night. Perhaps after a bath. You'll soon get there. Yeah, so again, thinking about the spine. And then take your ankle circles, your foot circles, explore that hamstring, stretch. Hold on to the wall if you need, or furniture. Okay, let's go down onto the mat then. We're going to Sphinx position. If you liked last week where we went super wide on Sphinx, so we had it out here and we were lifting, then go for it. I'm going to demo just the normal one. Elbows under shoulders, lift up the kneecaps, get some length from the hips going up the spine, then slide the feet down, the kneecaps down. Just take a couple of breaths here. Think about sending the heart up and forwards. Think about the crown of head lifting up to the ceiling. Think about the length through the spine. Think about the energy coming up through the body. Take some deep breaths. If you want more then, you could go with Cobra, so gently lifting and lowering. Your choice. You don't have to put Cobra in. It's going to be quite more intense on the lower back. You might just be happy in Sphinx. 2 more breaths. Thinking about growing tall. Crown of head rising. Abdominal stretch. I'm going to go to quad stretch now. Option is to either go for the passive stretch, so lying down, completely relax, reach back towards your ankle and hold. If you want more of an active stretch, hold a bit of the Sphinx, reach back, push into your hand, hand pushes into foot. So kind of work again, go back to the intention, work with your day. If you've been kind of quite active and you need to relax and you need to stretch, then just relax here and stretch. If you've been like sat at a desk, you want to do some more active work, take the more active stretch where you're engaging in muscles. That's more work in strength. Whereas the lying down, relaxing is more flexibility. Send the hips down into the mat. Exhale, try and release. And then going to the other side, again, your choice. Which one you want to do, or you can do a little bit of both. I sometimes start with the active one just to get the muscles all working and to get a little bit of massage in my foot. And then I go to the passive. Just noticing what's happening there with the lower back. Is it wiggling or bending to get into that position? Just see if you can keep an eye on it. If you're super tight, you can always grab bands and get your band around your foot, so you're not, if you can't grab onto your foot. Are the hips wiggling? Have you got one hip off the mat, one hip on the mat? Just see if you can exhale, release, and see if you can get everything just to soften into the mat. Double leg kick, so both heels coming up to your bum and lower, but try and do this without arching and tilting in the lower back and pelvis. So lift and lower, feel the hamstrings lengthening with control. It's almost like you're really slowly going through that connection with the hamstrings to the lower back. So really slowly lift and lower. Try and keep the hips still so that they're not lifting and lowering off the mat. The pelvis isn't tilting. The lower back isn't moving. I'm going to put in a new stretch now, but if you don't want this one, it's double leg kick and then bend slightly over to the side, like windscreen wipers. I did that last week, so you can kind of play with windscreen wipers. I'm just going to adjust my camera just so you can see this one a bit better, because you need a bit of space either side of your mat. It's called a scorpion. You have your hands up to the side, a bit like last week we played with the Sphinx out here. You lift up one leg and then you're going to tilt and see if you can touch your toes over the other side. So this one's the scorpion. Then you're going to see if you can lift up your shoulders and your chest. So you're working into that stretch a little bit more. So you've got it lowered down and then you work into a lift. That's where the scorpion idea comes in, like, you know, I don't know if you can imagine that animal with the big claws either side, and then the tail kind of bends and goes over. So you're just playing with the lips, a bit like a wild thing stretch, if you remember those from the downward dog position. It's very similar. Stretch, and you can really start working into that tail scorpion bit by edging round if you want to. Just a bit of exploration. That's up to you how far you want to explore. And one more. It's a similar idea to tilted bow. Those of you know that one, I'll probably do that one next week. I won't do any more on that today though, because that's quite a lot of back bending we've done. Let's swan dive though, before we move on. 4 of these. Cactus the arms. Breathing out, lift head and shoulders. This is for the top of the back, this one. And then lower, if you want more, lifting up the arms and reach forward. Think about length and extension through the spine. Keep the eye gaze down, chin tucked under. Crown of head stays in line with that spine. Breathing out as you extend. Last one. Then coming into cat position for release. Now if you liked last week, we did cat kind of very low with your knees wide. Go with that again. If you don't, if you like the normal version, chin into chest, arms nice and long, then again go with that. So I'm just putting those choices in. If you liked what we did last week, then go with it. It was probably a little bit more intense. If anyone noticed that, it was a bit more intense on the spine. Options here if you're up on the top cat. Spiraling, hips, working into any tight spots in there. Couple of minutes here. So again, we'll work with semantic release if you've got any tightness in this kind of small areas, the wrist, the fingers, take a wrist stretch. One hand at a time, equal weight down through the wrists. Take the hands outside around. I've seen people that are kind of double jointed, they go inside. So yeah, go outside around. Again, just your time, just take your time, whatever you need to do here. I'm going to put in some other little options. Toes tucked under, stretch for the feet. So arches of the feet coming up, toe stretch. Can be quite a good one for some people. You've got coming into kind of more twists and bends. You've got the sexy cat one, Michelle's sexy cat I call it. So that's more working with a lateral spine position. And then more twist, you've got hip drop. So you can drop the hips to the side, center of the side. Okay, let's come into center. We're going to go to front plank. Elbows down to the mat. Go for about 45 seconds. I'm going to count in my head, and then I'll do a countdown from 10. Find the core, so really lock into that core position now. Pelvic floor TVA, option 2. Toes tucked under, and take a nice long plank. Okay, let's begin. Crown of head in line with spine. Ears down away from shoulders. Breathe. Ten seconds. And release. Take a 10-second rest. Going to go fingertip push-ups on the next one. But think about it as a chest stretch more than a push-up, because I think the word push-up just tends to scare people. So come up to almost cat position, but not quite, because you're allowing the hips to slightly drop. So you've got cat, then allow the hips to drop down. Then go up onto your fingertips, and then bend into the elbows to that point of a chest stretch. And then pushing up and out. Crown head stays in line with spine here. So you're looking down and slightly forwards. Don't have to go all the way down as well. You can just tease it and go a little way down to get the stretch. Last one. Then we're going to release with child's pose, so sitting back to your heels. Bring the forehead down. I'm going to invite you just to massage your feet. So just reaching back, perhaps putting a little bit of pressure into the feet. Just squeezing on the heels. Perhaps drawing a line down through the center. Breathing in, just expand that lower back. See if you can fill all four corners of the back as you breathe in, even sending it up towards the shoulders. Okay, so from there we're going to move on to a side. Loop bands, because we'll go to the clam. Check the time, how am I doing? And then one weight. Just above the knee then. Bend the knees. Everything in line. Let's get heels lifted, hips, shoulders. Lift top knee and lower. Engage the core. Find that glute med, just teasing into the band. Breathing out, lift. Breathing in, lower. I just cycled up Hammer Pass, which is a pass in the woods, so I can really feel my glutes today. It's a nice ride. It's about half an hour all uphill in the woods. Okay, so from there we've got a little side plank series. A lot of you will know this already. It's going to be knee to elbow, and I just wondered whether we could do this with the bands. You can actually do it with the bands. Lift and then twist. So it's going to be knee to elbow, lift, and then twist. Option, I've just wondered if we could take an option there if anyone wants it, and you probably can, so yeah. Okay, that's the move. We'll do it 5 times through, but you can also put in your free weight as well. So you've got your knee to elbow, you can lift up, twist through. Knee to elbow, that's your hip move. Nice bit of glute med, lateral lift, twist. Probably noticing this in your glutes. Will make you strong. Last one. Okay, then let's go to the other side. Start with the clams. Bend the knees, lift the heels. Lift and lower, engage the core. Breathing out into the lift. Gosh, I can barely even lift my knee today. Gosh, sometimes I do get like that day. Mondays are the days I'm often quite tired. Off the back of a weekend. Whew. Can't even remember what I did yesterday. Sunday. I ran along the ridge, that was it. Yeah, so I've been doing lots of hills. That explains this. Okay, you're going to go into that side plank series again. Options, you've got the knee down or in the full plank version. I'll just show you again. It's going to be knee to elbow. It's going to be leg lift. And then it's your twist. Your pace as well. I think I am going quite fast on this. You can always slow it down. Or you've got the option full side plank, legs straight. It's quite hard with the bands. Knee to elbow, leg lift, and twist. Knee to elbow, leg lift, twist. 5 of these. Okay, nice. Once you've done that, put the weights to the side, put the bands to the side, onto our backs. Just going to adjust the camera. Pelvic tilt, take a moment to find neutral, pull in the core. Length at the back of the neck, shoulders relaxed. We're going to go straight in on the 100 seconds, 5 sets, 4 toe taps, 8 pulses, and then your 8-second hold. Your choice to progress onto those teasers if you want them. See if you can find right angles behind your knees. So just when we're going in a toe tap, we're hinging from the hip. Sometimes I see in classes people just lifting their leg. You're not going to quite get the core engagement if you do it like that. So try and hinge from the hip. Okay, imprint lower back down, engage the core. 4 toe taps, 4, 3. See if you can notice what's happening in the lower back. Is it tilting? See if you can stop the tilting with the core. 1. Lift head and shoulders, pulse the arms, keep your tummy still. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slide your fingers to your knees. Ribcage lifts up towards your hips, hold. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release, and we'll go again if you want more tabletop that. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release, and again 4, 3, 2, 1. Pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And again then 2 more sets. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hover if you want it. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release last time. 4, 3, and breathe. 2, 1. Pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Full body stretch. Give everything a bit of a squeeze. Point toes. Scrunch up your fists. Get your shoulders to touch your ears. Pull in your tummy. Squeeze your glutes. Scrunch up your face. Take a really big deep breath in. And breathing out, just go super relaxed, let everything go. Feel heavy. Just feel supported by the ground. Bending the knees, palms together. Chin goes up towards the chest. Hands go across to the side of the knee. Center. And then again, lifting to the side. And center. So you're dipping your shoulder down and around to the side body. So you're almost drawing a bit of a half a quarter of a circle when you go round, or a little bit of a half a circle. Adding in, if you want, then opposite heel slides. Opposite heel to the way that you're going to the knee, slides away. Breathing out as you lift. Choice here if you can tabletop this. Try and keep the hips still. Engage with the core. Breathing out as you lift. In as you reset. Three more. Feet on the mat, arms up towards the ceiling. Breathing out both arms over the head. Imprint the spine down, imprint the back down, and then recenter. And again, over the head. Keep the length at the back of the neck. Just keep an eye on the chin. Sometimes it wants to lift up on this, so keeping an eye on the position on the head. Adding in, if you want, a single leg stretch, so the body's getting a nice stretch, just single, one leg at a time. Thinking about nice long. And thinking about the length. If you want the double leg, hug knees to chest, extend. Knees to chest, extend. Keeping that imprint there of the back. Pulling in the core. You can even point the toes, really stretch right through the fingertips as well. Two more. Arms out to the sides then. If you haven't got the space, cactus. Tabletop, and then just draw across, tilt across, and then extend both legs out to the corner. So you're just tilting, one hip slightly lifts, and then extend that really nice hamstring. Works a little bit with the IT band as well. Breathing out as you lengthen. Back to center, feet as wide as the mat. Then just allowing both knees to drop to one side, center to the other side. So it's kind of working a little bit with hip and lower back. You can look in the other direction, work with the neck release if you want to. Gonna hamstring stretch next, so grab your long bands, if you like to do it with your long bands. If you like what we did last week with the flex and point the foot into the band, the length of the band, then go for that one again. Go for about 30 seconds. So on each leg, so just, if you just have a way that you like to do them, you can do it like that. If they're particularly tight, you might want to push away for 5 seconds and then relax for 10, perhaps go for a couple of them. Just check you're not lifting up your bum and your hips. Your head's nicely relaxed, your shoulders are relaxed. You can always straighten out the other leg if that helps to not lift into that position. I just realised I always stretch the same leg first. I don't know if anyone else just realised that. Just looked at my leg and I thought, I always do my right leg first. Then you can maybe go out to the side if you want the inner hamstring as well. Just make sure you balance yourself out with the other arm. Then we'll swap legs. Yeah, just about 30 seconds, just maintaining length in there. Push away at the back of the knee, maybe you're lengthening out the other leg. Go out to the side in there. Put out to the side if you haven't done it. Okay, glute stretch, so maybe go back to the other side, foot across, flex the foot that's lifted up on the knee. Think about what's happening with the hips here. Are they tilting to get into that position? So if you can just square them off, then you can either push into the knee and then the knee pushes into the hand, that's your active stretch. Or if you want more of a passive one, see if you can grab kind of the back of the other leg, lift. You might find that you start in that position, but just see if you can bring it down, head back onto the mat, relax your shoulders, and find that glute stretch. Just exhale, try and just release. Then just tilting it across ever so slightly, almost like this top foot wants to drop down to the floor. So just start working into a little bit of a tilt, see if you can get a little bit more of a stretch. And then if you want, it drops all the way down and then the arm lifts up to the opposite side, hip stretch. Bring that back to center. Hug that knee to the chest, circle the foot. Remember we did this with the same one we did last week. Take the knee out to the side. Hold the ankle. Bring the knee in. Internal rotation. Did that one last week, so just touching in again on that one if anyone wants it. Okay, let's go to the other side. Glutes. Foot across. Flex that foot. Your choice whether you're pushing hand to knee turn or whether you're grabbing. Lifting up slightly. Notice if you're wandering over to the glute side that you're stretching. If you're particularly tight, that happens. So to see if you can bring everything to center. Notice what's happening there with the lower back and the hips. Keep the flexion on that foot. It just helps protect the ankle. Exhale, try and just release that muscle. And then do that little bit of a tilt. Take it halfway or a tiny bit over, just see if you can get a bit more out of that stretch. And then you can start dropping the foot down, hip stretch. Other arm, reach out to the far corner, chest stretch. Bring it back to center, hug knee to chest, circle the ankle, knee out to the side. So we're just preparing the hips for the stretch. And then holding on to the ankle, drop the knee, internal rotation, bring that down. Take that stretch. I find one side particularly tougher than the other. I don't know if anyone else has noticed that. Okay, reset ourselves, come to the center of the mat, Bring your heels in a bit closer to your bum. You can touch your heels, then pelvic tilt. Treat it like a massage for the lower back. And if you want, you can take this up to your shoulder ridge, lifting up the hips, chin to chest. That's a nice throat chakra release. Arms over the head. Choice here if you want, straightening one leg, squeezing in the glutes, arms lower, and then they lift. So if you can do that 4 times on each leg. If that feels too much, it's a glute activation exercise, it's a lower back strengthening exercise, then just simply go up and down with your shoulder bridge nice and slowly. Or you could just tease yourself with your leg extensions and not put the arm movements in. Your choice. Swap legs once you've done your 4. Keep squeezing in the glutes, so try not to let those hips drop. Keep working. Keep breathing in there as well. Keep squeezing. Don't let those hips drop. Then lower the arms down, lower the hips down, hug knees to chest, rock or circle. So if you can bring that up to a seated position. Oh, it's 8 o'clock. I've gone over a bit, but I'll start tying it up. Roll backs then if you want them. So either C-shape the spine to upright, treat it like a massage at this point. Otherwise, hold on to the shins, rock it back. Maybe take it over as well if you want more of a stretch. When you're coming up to upright, try not to lift the chin at that end point. So think about the crown of head staying in line with the spine. You might let your shoulders stand. That's another way of getting a little bit of a length through the body. Just massaging through the spine. I'm going to finish. I've done a lot of stretching today, but I'm actually going to do a little bit more if everyone's okay with that. Butterfly stretch, so soles of the feet together. And just take a moment just to find that stretch, because you don't have to have the heels too close to the body, because we're actually going to let go of the feet, so you need to be comfortable in that. Then you're going to cross over the elbows and find eagle arms. Lift up to begin with, and then see if you can lower that down. Chin goes to chest. It's going to be quite a deep shoulder stretch. 2 breaths. Then lift back up in your eagle and then release, and then go the other way around. So eagle arms, wrap it all around, lift to start with, and then see if you can lower that down, chin to chest. Like you're just placing your arms down in front of you. I mean, I don't get them to the floor. Some people would. Shoulder stretch. Lifting back up and out and release. Okay. Another nice little stretch combo here. I love my stretch combos at the moment. Bands, if I've just brought my long band into this, just because if you can't touch, or just to illustrate, if you don't touch your foot on this, so I'm in this position, so you're on, should show you that way, really, it's probably easier. One leg out to the side. But if you can hold your foot and get into that position, that's equally quite nice. But start to sort of send the belly forward, so we're not kind of dropping forwards here. Get nice and tall in the chest. That's why I sometimes think the bands are quite good, because you can still find your stretch, but still kind of stay nice and tall. Couple of deep breaths. If you want as well, especially with bands, is quite nice. Flex and point. It kind of touches on a little bit of what we did last week. Working with strengthening the feet. Try and keep the head still if you flex and point. It's just the foot moving. Now I've got to remember how we do this next one. We're going to spin from this to pigeon. And I can see Mario going, yeah, how do we do that? And I can't remember myself. Let me think. I'm pretty sure it goes like that. So you're in that position, you got your knee bent, you take your hands to frame that bent knee and twist it around to find pigeon. It's quite an interesting way to kind of work with the hip. So I just wanted to show you that little transition. Spin it back around, let's do it on the other side. So start with your hamstring stretch and then we'll finish, promise. Again, you could put your bands in if you don't touch your, some people would, they would like to touch and feel that stretch, but that's okay, you can do it with bands. I would suggest, so in yoga they use straps, so straps don't have the stretchiness of bands, but if you double over your band, or even triple over your band for things like this, you would have the sort of tension of a strap. So often in stretching in yoga, you have a strap which is got a little bit, doesn't bend like in Pilates. But you can also just double over your bands to get that kind of torque in there. Think about lifting up through the chest and the belly, get nice and tall. Again, just work with those hamstrings. And if you liked the flex and point, the work with the feet, have a little go with the flex and point. Then, ready, frame the hands, I know at this time, frame the hands with around the bent knee and then spin it round to find your pigeon. Lift up the hips and spin. And obviously you can bring pigeon down if you wanted to. I'm totally off the mat. That's the only trouble with doing the little fun transition and spins is you completely lose track of where the mat's gone. Hey ho, that's okay. Oh, nice. Perhaps finishing legs crossed if you can, just to see how that feels on all hips and things. We've done lots of hip stretching. Palms together. Namaste.